Good afternoon. The time is 5:06 p.m. Date is 6/20/2016, or June. This is my debut video. This is my first video that I'm posting publicly on YouTube. And the reason I'm not doing this is two reasons. Number one, it's a bucket list thing. I haven't done public videos before. And number two, I want to talk to you all about something I feel that's very important and very sad on the light of events that happened back on June 10th of 2016. It's a very hard subject. It's really hard for me to do this type of video. Again, if you know me, it's something that it's really hard for me to do. But I feel deep inside that this is something I have to do. It's like something that's calling me to make this video and present some information over to you. So what I'm going to talk about probably would take about 15-20 minutes. If you are disturbed by what I'm going to say, definitely stop at any time, or if you look at the subject, you can tell what I'm going to be talking about. You can just stop and continue with comments if need be. Okay, the purpose of my video is to talk about what happened to the late Christina Grimmie. Again, I know it's really hard, and I know I'm probably going to get some backlash. Why am I taking up on this now? It's just listening to events and whatever the folks said about their feelings on this issue. I wanted to take this from a scientific, thoughtful standpoint and put my thoughts into this, which I'm sure is going to be different than most folks. But definitely any idea out there, I do the same as I always hear people out. And I would appreciate my new audience out there that you do the same. Okay. I used to use YouTube a long time ago, basically when it started. And the reason why I'm saying this is that I really didn't follow anybody. I mean, I used YouTube for like entertainment purposes, a little bit between at my old job. So I never set up an account. I never subscribed to anybody. I never saved any history. And what happened to Christina, it's a little disturbing because I look back and I recall that I might have seen maybe a few of her videos. I thought, yeah, a girl can sing. She sounds great, but I never followed her, and I regret to this day that I didn't. Only to just get reintroduced to her upon her death. It's really hard for me, and I just have a lot of regret that I should have set up things sooner. But again, I never got really into public social media until 2011. But I've been using online stuff I would say if you go back to the Gopher days before the web even became alive, is when I was using it. Okay, for those of you who do not know who Christina Grimmie is, I'm going to describe who she is. Christina Grimmie, basically a YouTube star. She started posting videos back in 2009. Up to recent, she became very popular. One of the high-ranking YouTube users. She got 3.5 million subscribers. Basically engaging her fans, a lot of words of wisdom out there, a lot of inspiration to her music and other means. Very active in the social media community, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and even Snapchat, which I have no reason to really use. Basically, if you just listen to Christina's music and you see her videos, I would say that you probably would put her right on the lines of Fred Rogers. Basically, being out there, being a good neighbor, except she wasn't working with children. She was working with her music and inspiration, whereas Fred Rogers worked with children to his television program. This is really difficult talking about this. So what happened on that night, on June 10th, 2016, is that after Christina's, after her show, she did a meet and greet with fans, and what happened is that this gunman walked up to her with open arms and shot her close range 3 times. And basically he was tackled by Marcus, her brother, and during the struggle, the 4th shot, the gunman terminated his life. Emergency personnel were quick. They got to Christina. She was already, CPR was already in progress. They brought her to the hospital. Basically, a couple hours later, about 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, the 11th, unfortunately she passed away. They weren't able to save her. They weren't able to save her at all. God bless her. It's just terrible that somebody like that can be just taken away in cold blood. It's been already a while since that happened, and I still feel to it to this day. Now, there's been a lot of conflicting reports as far as the gunman. Initially, they thought it was going to be terrorism. They thought it was a crazed fan, and then they thought it was just somebody out there on a murder mission. I've read a lot of the facts and a lot of news outlets, so I'm going to tell you other things too about the possibilities of what it could have been. Also, another possibility was mentioned, and this was through iTunes podcasts, is that Christina was also possibly attacked because of just her faith, which, to me, it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. And one of the stories reported that the gunman, he was working at Best Buy, was always listening to her music, and heard something about some kind of affair that Christina was going to be in. It was never made public. I mean, it could have been just a hearsay or, paparazzi type of thing. They always want to make up something, just to try to get, more folks to buy their magazines or whatever have you. But there was nothing even mentioned about it. There was nothing that was officially publicized about that. So the gunman allegedly drove 2 miles, basically 2 hours to the Plaza Live and committed that crime. Now, listening and viewing all these videos of the reaction to Christina's death really sets a note in the light of gun control. Now, as far as guns, I am neutral on that. I'm not pro-gun. I'm not anti-gun. I'm neutral. And basically something like this, you can have all the legislation in the world and it's not going to stop it. If somebody has a means and a way to do it, they're going to do it. A lot of folks there ask if it's so easy to get a gun. As far as that goes, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to explain to you the process. Basically, to get a gun as it stands right now is you have the Brady Bill. You go to a gun shop. You fill out an application. The gun owner will call local state police for the state that you're in, and what they'll do is they'll cross-reference a background check with the information that you provide them with their database, and they'll also use the database provided by the FBI to make sure that it's okay for you to have a gun in a political sense. Basically, once that's done, then of course the gun owner will give you authorization to purchase the weapon. Now, I'm not clear on how this works if it's denied. I think if there's a few attempts, I don't know. It's something that basically it could be like an arrest or something like that. I don't know. It's very strange. Also, there's been a lot of talk about getting psychological examinations integrated along with the background check. Now, might be looking at costs involved, probably a bunch of other loopholes and stuff, and again, it's all to do with legislation. But like I said before, legislation is not going to stop the wills and the means for someone to do what they want to do, unfortunately. The gunman that walked into the Plaza Live, he had 2 guns and a hunting knife. So he was, unfortunately, and I hate putting it that way, he was prepared to do something. If his guns failed, he was going to use his knife. And I can't fathom a knife being used in such a manner that in murder. It's just, it is just a heinous process on that. It's terrible. Now, as far as violence, there's a lot of things being talked about violence. My stance on that is that violence can't be cured with any type of legislation, because legislation within itself, it's vanity, it's meaningless, it's useless nowadays. You know, you can have everything there in the world. It's just a piece of paper. It's all vanity. Just like what Christina had on her right arm, it's all vanity. A lot of things out there, vanity means different things. One is achievements, accomplishments. The other is that it's meaningless, worthless. And her performances was not for any financial gain or anything like that. After all the information I read, it was more to help people, inspire them, get them to reach their dreams. That was Christina's vision. And if anybody else says otherwise, look it up, do your research, then come back to me. So with all that being said, as far as violence and all that, we have to focus on something more traditional. So I'm going to talk to you about core values. Core values are basically something that gets instilled, or you can say installed, for example, into a child that basically, once he or she becomes full aware, which is anywhere from that time to about 6 years old. So if you focus on that time period, if you focus on the good things with your children, you know, teach them the right things at that point in time, there's a very good chance that good's going to come out of it. You know, whether it be, you know, good grades, you know, moving up in future, you know, endeavors in life. But definitely, with the research I've done in core values, that basically can stop a lot of the things that are going now in this poisoned planet, this poisoned world. There's a lot of things that are wrong. And again, politics, legislation is not going to stop any of it. You know, the politicians are going to let us say, oh, we can stop it, we can stop it. In reality, scientifically and common sense wise, no. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to stop. Now, as far as focusing on core values, you may be looking at something several hundred years. Maybe it may work, maybe not, but it's definitely a start. Now, this subject, again, it's really, it hurts me. It's really hard to talk about this because it's just one of those things. I mean, you work, you do things, there's always a risk, but you never thought of, you know, somebody that is so good at what she does, no known enemies that I know of, and somebody just to walk up and kill her in cold blood. It's just, deep inside, it's just very, very sad, and then at the same time I feel very, very angry because there's a lot of things that could have been done to prevent it. I mean, the Plaza Live, I mean, they could have done a lot better with security. They could have had secondary security before the meet and greet with her. I know if it was other celebrities, there definitely would be a lot of security, and like I said, secondary security, but then again, a lot of them don't even do meet and greets, which is my very important message to current entertainers and future entertainers. This is my message to you directly. Number one, when I talked with like local bands, cover bands and all that, the information I get is never, ever, ever alienate your fans. Never lock them out. Always do meet and greets. Reason for that is that a meet and greet is what gets you into with your fans. It gets you to know them. I mean, you're not going to know everybody, but definitely, make your presence known. That is a lot for people that are looking up to you directly. I know there's been a lot of things. I know Justin Bieber himself, information reports that he stopped the meet and greets and all that. Again, it's the job. It comes with the territory. If you have everything in place, there's no reason why you should prevent your fans from getting to know you. Another thing too, get a lot of these, and I'm not pointing anybody out in particular, is that you get all these folks that, entertainers that got absorbed to the vanity of Hollywood, and basically they don't communicate as well as they should. I don't see any YouTube videos, no postings or anything like that, just maybe a tweet here and there. But that's one thing that was great about Christina, is that she always engaged her fans. She used every single tool that was available to her, whether it was YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. She done it all. And that is definitely an example that I would suggest that you may want to take up. Keep your fan base. Always try different music. Listen to your fans, because if you're using the same music, eventually people are going to stop listening, and they're going to find another artist and work with just listening to them and stuff. So it's very, very important. I know it's a twisted world. Anything can happen, but one thing is that you can't be scared. Because once you're scared and you don't follow your dream, then you might as well, putting it this way, and I hate to say it, is that your career would be pretty much done. So definitely don't keep your fans out. Get involved and do what you can to just spread your love. If you love your fans, love them. Don't lock them out. Don't do that anymore. So, in closing on this, rest in peace, Christina Grimmie. You will be solemnly missed. I think about you a lot, and many others do as well, I'm sure. You've been an inspiration for everybody. And again, this is something that, if this didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now. But again, this is something that I feel that's very important. Hopefully with the pointers I come across and I presented to you with my thoughts, hopefully it could be applied to something to prevent something like this happening in the future. So at this point, I'm going to post a few links below. They're very important. One's going to link to Christina's information, Facebook, I would say musician page, YouTube's page, channel that she has, and if I can get the link again for the GoFundMe page, I will post that there as well. And at this point, in the face of evil and things that are going on with this planet, you can't let it get to you. You gotta face your fears. You gotta have everything in place. You'll be successful. You can't just let bad things that happen to stop progression. You just got to do it. So at this point, again, and I've said this again, I'll say it one more time, rest in peace, Christina Grimmie. Again, you've done everything great. Inspiration for everybody. Again, we'll all be remembering you. At this point, make peace to each other, be good, and if there's a reason for me to post another video, I will do that at that time. Signing off.